Greetings! Today a very unserious video. In fact, this is going to be about making a practical joke for your office or college, or a joke that you can play on your work colleagues or whoever, as long as they use a computer. The joke will be based around a USB device, which I'm holding over here, more on this in a moment, but it's inspired by a joke that a lot of people don't remember anymore. If you remember, give me a shout in the comments. But a long time ago, back when we didn't have USB and we had floppy disks, there was a joke that you could play on your well, not a friend, but someone that you didn't like. You'd basically take the floppy disk apart and stuff it inside with the shavings of the matches and the striker. You'd affix everything in place and put the disk back together, and then give the victim the disk. And basically that was the old school version of the USB killer, because that would once the little magnetic disk started spinning inside the casing, it would ignite the matches that were sprinkled on the magnetic disk, and that would effectively make your floppy drive burst out in flames. You'd have a panic, and the floppy drive is pretty much permanently disabled. So that's pretty much what USB killer does, but that's a little bit silly, because we don't want to destroy the hardware. That would be very evil. What we want to do is just a joke that's possibly gonna make someone scared a little bit and make them jump and you know, liven up the atmosphere at work. Here we have a USB card reader from Poundlad, and this is pretty much what it is in pieces. This is the packaging it came from. If you're looking for one, it's a Signalex brand USB card reader. You could use pretty much any USB device. The device is actually still operational while this prank is being played. It's quite big, so we've got a little bit space inside to put a few extra bits. Wedge a screwdriver here in the slot, and that pretty much comes apart straight away, and that's all there is to it. So we've got the board with a blob chip. This is the board. What you're gonna need for this prank is a 10 ohm resistor, and that's pretty much it. Where the LED shines through, there is a little bit of a gap around the LED between the case, but we want to increase that gap a little bit. And I'm going just to do that by hand. I've got a 4mm drill bit, and that's soft plastic. That's easy enough, just to, with a couple of turns. There we go. So the next step is the resistor, and the value of the resistor is important here, because we want to get as much power out of the USB port, but not to trip any protection or damage any of the devices. So the standard USB port is able to supply 500 milliamps, half an amp at most. Some of them will do a lot more, some of them will do 1 amp, 2 amp and whatnot, which is fine, but we want to make it universal, and half an amp is more than enough to do what we want. So 5 volts, 10 ohms, that's going to be 500 milliamps, half an amp going through this resistor. Now this is a 1/4 watt resistor, so 250 milliwatts. At 5 volts and half an amp, we're going to dissipate 2.5 watts of power into this, which is 10 times the normal rating of this resistor. So that's going to produce quite interesting special effects. This pin and this pin, so 2 outermost pins on the USB. This is +5 and power, +5 and ground. So this is ground here on this side, and +5 volts over here. Now first thing you want to do is add a little bit of solder onto those parts, because there is hardly any solder over here. And the resistor itself, the 10 ohm mighty resistor, we will put in here, and that's the completed modification. Very simple. Thankfully this nicely clips together just like so, easy. And then you'd give it to a person that you want to play the prank on, or maybe leave it unattended just inside and see who picks it up, and curiosity makes him actually plug it in and see what happens. So let's plug it in. This is what would happen. I've got the this is connected to the computer just so the LED can light up, and the power meter will monitor what sort of current we're drawing. Okay, let's give it a shot. So that goes in, LED comes on. We're drawing 510 milliamps, so that's fine. And at this point someone should start panicking, because we've got smoke coming out of your USB drive or possibly your computer. And oh no, what is happening? Yes, and you can just sit there and go ha 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 ha. This is actually beginning to melt the case down a little bit, so oops, I'm gonna have a bigger hole for more smoke later on. I'll try that at work. But anyways, if you enjoy this prank idea, give me a thumbs up in the video and subscribe for more random electronic stuff. Maybe not as silly as this, but anyways. And thanks a lot for watching. For this one, that's it, so take care.